Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we beat the stuffing out of the film Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
And nothing wrong with that intro, Tom. I'm Pete Mummert.
Wow. I'm Gerald Christopher. Ooh, Porter.
And this is everybody's favorite aunt, Jim O'Kane.
Hey,
From TVAnts.com.
Exactly,
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. This is I although it has a lot of action, there's not a lot much going on in this minute, but I do appreciate being able to be a part of Crystal Skull, which is I think it's my third favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, interesting. We'll
That's ranked very high.
We'll pluck at that thread in a little bit. Curious. All right, well, let's get into this then. This is minute 87, and this is the one that begins with Devchenko beating up Indy. And after a minute of Devchenko beating up Indy, it ends with Devchenko beating up Indy. That is essentially all that happens in this minute. Two men beating each other up.
Start by making at least two of you sad.
Okay.
But I think only one of you should remain sad.
Wait. Okay.
The music in the first quarter of this minute sounds almost exactly, and Tom, don't be a big fat idiot, but it sounds almost exactly like the music in Phantom Menace.
Oh my God! No, I know what you're talking about. That's right. Like I kind of like not quite consciously picked up on that. There's a kind of bit of a big fat idiot.
Which to me is, I think, the best part of Phantom Menace. I think the music's actually spectacular. So I know you're not a fan, Tom.
We all have our stuff, don't we?
This minute reminds me a lot of Rocky IV.
Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like you have these big sweeping arc like hoof. It's like everybody kind of stands there with the double leg wobble waiting to absorb the punch, and like at the end, if I'm imagining like Indy's gonna be like, and if you guys stop coming at us with ants, and if you guys
looking for crystal skulls, everyone stop looking for crystal skulls.
You had a colonoscopy, all right.
I sure did. Peek behind the curtain. Wink, wink.
But the fighting is very Rocky IV like, and we have a big tall Russian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very Tegas central. I've never seen so much Tegas centered. You know, that little part of your ear that sticks out. He's like, I mean, Devchenko grabs him by the Tegas and then hits him right on the Tegas. It's
Yeah. To quote Phantom Menace, that's gotta hurt.
yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I don't care what part of Mexico you're from, where they are right now. That's gotta hurt.
I don't understand how you come back from that. Like if you're 59 years old, but B, if someone picks you up by your ear.
Yeah, God.
Okay, so what would that move be different if you had detached lobes?
Oh.
There's that. Yeah.
You know what's weird? I was literally, before we recorded tonight, I did a 23andMe genetics test, DNA test a few years ago, and I get like emails every once in a while with an update on, like they've done different studies or they want to say you've got this variant or that variant. But it's funny because I got the detached lobe variant. I just found out today, so that was.
Oh, really?
Perfect timing. Yeah. I'm safe if I fight a Russian.
Now you're gonna start getting a lot of targeted mail from Claire's and all those mall earrings.
Yeah.
And now if you want to try
21,
to pass yourself off as a Blowchamp or whatever it is, and on Her Majesty's Secret Service, you got to cut off your earlobes. It's the whole thing.
There goes that Telly Savalas biopic is off the menu for you, Pete.
Sorry, Pete.
It's my understanding that I don't think the ear could take this type of yanking and pulling.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
Well-
I don't know, but I mean I think Indy kind of goes along with it.
Right. I wonder if
Yeah.
part of the move is to like, I got to get this guy up so I can punch him more. So I'm going to grab him by the ear so he'll get himself up because I'm very tired from punching at him so many times.
Yeah.
I need some help
Yeah.
getting this guy up. I'm going to make him do the work by threatening to pull his ear off, and then he'll get
Because
up.
what
on
does
the ear.
Indy weigh? Like 175, 180 maybe?
Something like that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the earlobe isn't designed to handle 180
No,
pounds.
God.
No, I don't think it is. I don't. And I wondered. It's a very specific move to do. Is there something symbolic behind it? Like, is it, like Dovchenko feels that Indy isn't listening to him.
Right. Yes, there's
No, he wants-
there's a language barrier. The
There-
sound of the language is coming between them.
Or is this like a teaching him a lesson? Because this is, I'm not exactly sure what boxing your ears is. I have a feeling it has something to do with slapping them. But this
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
something like a
Yeah.
schoolmaster would do with a belligerent child.
Yeah, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Grabbing your entire ear and dragging you down the
Yeah.
street.
Well,
Yeah,
it's an international sign of I have the authority in this situation.
Yeah.
And that's, as you just said, it's something the teacher, the principal would do. They grab you by the ear and they drag you along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's like if you're Andy Cap, it's the sort of thing your wife would do to you.
Yeah.
What if Dovchenko's like a high school teacher?
Ooh.
Oh, maybe.
I can
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah,
Shop,
Yeah, I
shop
can too.
class. He has a shop class look.
He totally does. Yeah, he totally does.
That's how he deals with kids,
yeah,
with troublemakers.
He's
Yeah.
gonna make him run laps after this or something. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
They also do this thing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think the only time it's a good touch to the ear is if you're Carol Burnett. Other than that, it's probably
Right. She knows how to do it.
yeah.
See, that is for communication. She's communicating with somebody, and it's not creating a barrier to communication. That's why it's beautiful.
Yeah, I got to say something. I've heard this on previous episodes, and people are laughing at the animations and the CGI of this. But this is an early and excellent use of particle physics CGI. Those ants,
Yeah.
I think, are just beautiful. They're
Yeah, the ants are good. Yeah.
The
I actually
river
like
ants,
that too.
Yeah, the river of ants flowing around John Hurt there.
Yeah.
And also there's a second little piece of CGI that is great when our female antagonist has the ant between her knees. Right after she smacks her knees together, you get that virtual lens splash.
Yeah.
Coupled with a lens
Yeah.
flare, which
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
gorgeous, putting you. It really
Yeah.
turns you into a first-person shot here.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm usually
Yeah.
against that kind of like using CGI to do stuff to a camera that's not there, but I think in this case it actually you do kind of like flinch back. Like, oh, gross.
It's kind of
This
visceral.
guy-
Yeah, you
yeah.
would.
Yeah, you want to wipe
Yeah.
your. This is not a good popcorn sales moment, I think. But it's just,
I think there's something in my popcorn.
Unless you like hot sauce. Like, it's
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, so why do the ants avoid? They avoid the skull, right? And then they go straight to Spalco. So
Yeah.
they do seem to have a grand design. What is it?
I think they just want to eat anything that moves. But
Okay, so is she just the closest to them? Because they do have to construct this ant like Watts Tower type of thing.
Yeah.
Where they kind of use themselves to sort of it's like a Tower of Babel looking thing. And
Yeah,
the
it
one
is.
makes it.
Yeah.
the one makes it, and just like in the Tower of Babel, he gets squashed.
Yeah.
that sucks.
good
Yeah.
team building exercise. That's what it brings.
Right. I made it to the
Yeah.
Russian.
In a kind of a Vin Burt moment, I feel like the sound that the ants make is a lot like when R2 is distressed, when R2D2 is distressed.
Oh, wow.
It's a very similar
Oh.
sound.
I can sort of hear that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kinda
I,
true.
I was wondering how much macaroni and cheese he had to move his fingers through. the
Yeah,
microphone.
yeah.
I think he has a big
Yeah.
like chart or calendar or something in his rec room with like like animals and then the food that goes with them to make them
It's like two big wheels that he spins. And
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
I'm gonna make some
rhinoceros
rats, I need
and
chickens.
macaroni. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a bear, so I need a slab of beef.
He wanders through a Denny's listening to what people are eating. He says, that sounds like a herd of really tiny beetles.
Yeah.
As somebody with misophonia, that is the worst sounding idea I think I've ever
Oh
heard.
gosh! Wow. Well, Pete, you have watched Creep Show, right? Have you?
I haven't actually.
Oh my goodness!
As much as Tom has
I'm
talked
so
about
excited. That's the second
Yeah.
time that movie's come up in the last few minutes.
E.G. Marshall is just perfect.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this on the next episode. But yeah, E.G. Marshall is just, gosh, Pete. Yeah, you'll have to watch this behind the couch. It's
Or listen behind the couch.
carefully interlace fingers over your eyes and just it'll.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if
creeps
the
up on
audio is any good. Yeah, definitely. But well worthwhile.
Yeah. Right at the beginning of this minute, too, they do this. I don't know why we pick on this movie for a lot of things, so I probably should let this go because all movies do this. But they do the thing. Devchenko does the thing where he takes a swing at Indy's head that Indy is going to duck under. And so his swing is obviously higher than Indy's head was. You know, he's obviously going high to miss him to give Harrison Ford a chance to get away from it. And you see that a lot, and it always kind of bothers me.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, this whole thing is okay. So they're calling back the Raiders Pat Roach scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is that moment, right?
It is.
We're at that part of the movie. We also had this in Temple of Doom, right, where he fights Pat Roach again on the conveyor belt, and it's like it has the beat of this, and now he's fighting the big guy, and they're doing the big swoopy haymakers.
Yeah.
And Indy, they're doing the thing where Indy gets like a few great licks in, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
You got the jolly green bad giant still standing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this feeling of like, oh my gosh, what am I have to do here? You know what I mean? But
I was just gonna say, like, harkening back to the Pat Roach scene in Raiders, Indy, I feel like, is not fighting fair again. Like, I feel like Indy is pulling a little bit of razzle dazzle here, but is perhaps not ethical, because he holds his hand up like, oh, hold on a minute, just let me get my hat that you threw off. And Devchenko, being a gentleman, says sure, and then Indy grabs a giant stick.
Right.
Yeah. And
much like the sand.
Yeah.
The sand move in
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Now, I was wondering when he holds his hand up, is he just exhausted? Like, is that just his sheer emotion coming out? It's like, I know this fight isn't over, but I can't help but he's almost like holding it up to Yahweh or the sky, like, just enough.
Right.
It's just enough. Or is he actually saying, is he signaling to Devchenko, like, all right, you win, just give me a minute here. You win.
Yeah.
You
Or
can
just
That's what I
go.
thought.
Kill me after I get my hat on, so I can die with my hat on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's a.
Or
I
it's
think
like
a little bit of trickery.
I didn't pay enough attention, but did Indy start losing once Devchenko tossed his hat away, and that's his can of spinach, and he's trying to get back?
Clearly,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and keep in mind, Devchenko gave him his hat.
That is true. Yeah, earlier in the movie,
Yeah,
he tossed
this
it
is
back to him.
a very, very specific thing. They have this bond over Indy's hat. And I don't know if Devchenko knows that, we and Indy have a bond over his hat.
Mm-hmm.
But Devchenko and Indy have a bond where, I think he's given Indy his hat twice in this movie.
I think so, at least once that I can think of.
No, it was once
been
at
a long
Area
movie.
51, right?
No, I think
Didn't he throw it over his head?
no.
to him or
Indy
something?
tossed Devchenko's hat to him. I think.
Yeah.
because he'd been collecting
Oh,
the
okay.
shells and stuff
Yeah.
in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But Devchenko, when they come out of the tent
Yeah.
in the jungle a few minutes back, Devchenko throws Indy's hat over his head.
It gets it to him somehow.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
gives it-
hat
yeah.
thrown in this movie.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
a lot like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or the whatever the trilogy,
Yeah.
where there are lots of hats being shot.
Right. Yeah, a lot of hat fighting and a hat communication. And so Devchenko taking the hat this time was like, no, this is it. The last hat. We both had our hat moments. This is the
I'm
final
tired
hat
of
moment.
this. He totally throws it,
Of all the heavies, the muscle that Indy has fought, is Devchenko the skinniest?
Wow.
I mean, he's the lightest heavy, is what I'm saying. I think
That's a good question. I think you're right.
I think he seems... Okay, wait. Who was the heavy in Last Crusade?
Yeah, who are the heavies who are not Pat Roach besides Devchenko?
Was Pat Roach the guy in Tibet that gets hit with the flaming stick by Marion?
Oh no,
Oh.
that's just
He
a
was
random
one of
guy.
those guys.
Yeah,
That was him, actually. That was Pat Roach.
with the turban.
Oh, was
the
it?
yeah,
last
he's
guy
wearing-
that
Yeah,
Indy's
you're-
fighting, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he
right,
gets hit with the
okay.
turban. Okay, yeah. And this is, I wonder if this is the same stick, because it looks like the thing that he's reaching for at the end. That's about a Marion-sized piece of squaw wood, I think is what they used to call it.
But wait, who's the big bruiser in Last Crusade?
They don't. It was going to be Pat Roach, and they cut it out.
Oh,
He was there as
yeah.
a big
So there
Yeah.
isn't-
Nazi dude.
So
He's
we
right-
don't
he's right
have
after
this
the
beat.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
We don't have this beat.
Yeah.
I guess the closest guy is Cosm.
Maybe that pipsqueak.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's weird. But I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess since he's not Pat Roach, he's the skinniest one.
the lightest heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does have that kind of, that kind of is it Drago? What's his name in Rocky 4?
Ivan
Yeah.
Drago.
Ivan
Ivan
Drago.
Drago,
It is
yeah.
that kind of that build to it. You get the sense if he took off his shirt, he'd be ripped to hell and
Yeah.
pre-oiled and everything, and his
Yeah.
hair would spike up. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. He also seems to be relying on the fact that he has a crew cut and Indy doesn't, because there's a lot of hair play here going on with the.
See, I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
upset
Yeah.
Pete and Jerry, but I think that's why he throws his hat off so he can actually grab him by his
Ah.
hair.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
practical
signature
reason.
move.
It does look like that. No, it crossed my mind, but I think it's a twofer. You kind of
Yeah.
get like the lanyap. You
lanyap.
defrock him, right, and then you get to grab him by his head,
Yeah,
his
Yeah.
hair.
For,
Yeah,
for more,
And-
for more
yeah,
smacking
he's-
and Tegas, yeah.
right.
Right.
He does that thing too, where he's holding Indy by the hair, and he like cocks his knuckles, like he makes a fist,
Yeah.
and, like you
Yeah.
hear his knuckles like reset or whatever.
Okay, so how? Okay, look. Can you like that's what is the sound of one hand crackling?
That's right there.
I
Minute
can't. I
87.
couldn't do that in a million years
No.
on a desert island.
Does that mean his hand is incredibly strong, or that it's ruined? That it's like in terrible
It's just,
shape?
yeah, really brittle and
Yeah.
yeah.
He had like horrible arthritis.
You made me make a fist. This is killing me.
I don't. You know what? I can't. Like I can use my other hand to apply pressure to my fingers, and I'll get that crack. But
Yeah,
I can't
sure.
just close my fist and have it go.
Yeah. that
Can
is
you?
Super weird. No.
It is
No,
like
thanks.
one hand clapping.
Doing it
I
right
don't.
now.
You
We're all
know.
making fists right now. Nobody can see.
Yeah.
it.
Yes, for people listening, pay attention to the road. Stop grabbing things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Make fists on your steering wheel.
Well, I have a question that ideally would be directed towards your wife, Jim.
Oh, okay.
But you might know, and Jerry might know. But is Oxley? Would he be better served if someone were to Photoshop in a triclinium?
Madly looking up, trying.
Yeah.
The triclinium
very
was
quick-
the sofa that ancient Greeks and ancient Romans reclined on to eat dinner.
Oh, okay.
Well,
And
yeah.
he looks exactly like the old pictures of like Greeks and Romans eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's
he's just
funny.
got this complete dining repose.
Yeah. This is like his little
Yeah,
entertainment that he's watching.
Yeah.
His friend getting pulverized by a big Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to get her to answer in the listener's crusade. She's
There you go.
currently.
Is he?
But-
Would you say is Oxley just a complete pacifist, or is he out of it?
He is either a total pacifist and he's completely out of it, or he could be, like we were talking about, like, what's exactly going on with the ants and the skull and stuff. Maybe he's telling the skull to tell the ants to go get the Russian lady hanging from the vine. Like maybe, or the skull could be doing that on its own because it, like, maybe it
Yeah.
actually hates her. Like maybe that's why
Yeah.
she's like cut out from like whatever power it has and whatever connection she thinks she's supposed to have with it.
He's kind of like the acolyte of that skull. I mean, he's the
Yeah.
tender to it, so I think that's his job, and also he has to maintain that breakwater of ants. So don't
Right.
move, because everything could shift if he gets a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, he's doing a job. It looks like he's just
Yeah.
laying there eating biscuits, but he's helping.
How long do you think Kate Blanchett had to hang from a rope while they were shooting that? Or I was wondering about. Gosh, she's up there, and as others have pointed out, she's pregnant right now, and I don't know
Yeah.
how comfy she is, hanging from a vine or.
I was gonna say maybe they have like her like she's on some sort of harness that you don't see, but then I'm like, wait, is that good for a pregnant lady to just be hanging by your belly or your ribs or something? I don't know. That'd be rough too. And we should say, I think it was the minute before this, and none of us commented on it, I don't think, but we were talking about how like earlier Mutt was like swinging by the vines, and I was saying like, there's no way I could do that, like just swinging hand to hand on those vines. It looks insane. The way she just climbs up that rope like she's in gym class or something, and I'm the kid down below going, I can't
Like she's
do
a
that.
CrossFitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that.
But I wonder if they filmed it if she's lying on her back.
Yeah, that's what I was pondering. It's
maybe.
like there might be an easier way of doing this.
The old
Similar
Batman
Yeah.
trick.
And she actually looks pregnant right here
Yeah.
in this shot.
Oh, she does?
I'm sure she wasn't pleased by this scene.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
60 feet tall on a big movie screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that the ants reminded me of, my children were big fans of Fraggle Rock, and this definitely looks like a Doozer creation only made out of ants.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
It does. Oh my god, it actually does. It's incredible.
It totally does.
Wow. Yeah, it's got that kind of shiny brittleness to it. That's really cool.
Now I have to I may take this minute and overlay let the music play audio over just to see what it would look like.
Might. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Tune in.
Stranger things have happened. I also do wonder if I'm like looking at again at the we were just talking about the hang on, like the look that Indy gives him. I wonder if that is almost like after all, like the Marion introduction, like kind of totally aping her introduction in Raiders, and I wonder if that is like literally a callback to him doing that in Raiders. That kind of okay. Geez.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Well,
You got me.
there's
I'm licked.
when you look at there's one shot and it's like, okay, you have Indy's hand, which is kind of the white surrender flag,
Yeah.
and then you have his hat, and then you have the cudgel branch, and you're like, it's a very interesting shot with a lot of different options and symbolism and interpretations there. His hat isn't on him. He's doing this. He's about to. He's doing the surrender thing, and then he's got this. Kinetic weapon, right next to him, and I don't know if he's like, all right, I've just had enough, and then he's like, oh wait,
Right.
a cudgel.
Yeah. Let me stall this guy.
Or is he like, is it all, as Pete said, it's dirty play?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at his eyes, though, in this scene, he looks alarmed. Like, he looks like, I can't take another
Right.
hit. Like, I can't say I'm dead.
I'm gonna die in front of my son.
What time of day is this? I mean, I know.
Oh my gosh! Come on!
I mean, look
We've
at the.
asked this 28 times.
I know,
You're
but
right.
look at
Yeah.
the rim light on Dovchenko. It looks like either the sun is just coming up or the sun is just coming down.
It does.
And they've been
Yeah.
going through the forest for how long? And I just
It's we have had this question for it's like the entire movie takes place in the golden hour.
Yeah. It's almost like
Yeah.
the sun is like 20 feet ahead of like over your head or something. Like it's like
Yeah,
a big
but maybe
electrical
it's one of
thing.
those like like a Jericho thing from the Bible, where they just they walk around Jericho and blow the horn a whole bunch of times, and the sun stops.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we have here.
but it's like
Yeah.
a different time of day where Spalko is than where the two guys are fighting.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
is.
It's like it's high noon, where she's hanging from the tree, and then the sun's going down. That stuff bothers me. As we'll talk in a future movie, the time of day changes frequently, and it's like this is not. I would just like a clock in the corner just to help me understand where they're at.
Right.
Like, it's like an Eratosthenes like thing where he's got a stick next to Spalko and a stick next to Dovchenko, and you can see how long the shadow is.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go.
That's the curvature of the earth.
Yeah. The
She's
movie's an
2,500 miles north. Yeah.
Yeah. But there is it has to be early morning because I feel like the scene right before them in the Jeeps was it was night, right? Wasn't it night when they're escaping
Yeah.
after the quicksand
Yeah.
or the slow sand?
Right.
Yeah.
This is like the morning after that.
So this is like dawn, unless they've been chasing them in Jeeps for like 12 hours.
I mean, it seemed like maybe it could have been like full, like mid-morning by the time the whole caravan scene started, like when they were in the trucks and stuff. But even that had that kind of glowy kind of daylight to it, like almost like it was like, a late fall evening or something instead of morning in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Are the ants just trying to get breakfast?
Maybe.
Or are they upset because like the Jeep landed on their house?
Right.
And they're like,
I don't know.
someone's going to pay for this.
It's a big,
Yeah.
I do want, like, I'm not going to let this wave go. And this hat, it's like the Lady and the Tiger, the hat and the branch. Is it like, because we've had gags that we didn't know were gags in this movie before, and I'm wondering, is this like a setup for? Is the audience supposed to see the hat and see the branch and see, oh, Indy's going to go for the branch, or are they supposed to see, oh, he's going for his hat because he's Indiana Jones and it's magical? Oh my gosh, he went for the branch. That was a great misdirect. Like I actually don't know what's supposed to be happening.
I thought he was going for the hat. Like it looked like he was going for the hat.
Too.
It looked like, I thought he asked. I literally, I watched it several times, and I thought he was asking Dovchenko, "Give me a minute. I want to die with my hat on."
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question about beltage. Now, Dovchenko's got on a Sam Brown, classic Sam Brown belt. Does Indy have the same thing, or what is that diagonal belt that's going across his jacket? Or that's tied to his knapsack.
Bag.
Little
I think that's his satchel thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is lunch.
So it's just the battle of diagonal.
Lunchbox.
That is the belt that he stole from from Billy the Kid.
Oh right.
Yeah. Remember that episode?
Yeah, it was whatever. He stole it from the Pat Garrett display at the Smithsonian.
The Legend of the Man Purse.
But Indy even reaches first for the hat and then moves his hand over.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, okay, is that a whole? I didn't get any of that story. So, are they saying he's changing his mind?
I think you could read it either way, but my impression was that it's all a ruse. Like he's trying to trick Dovchenko, but it looks like he could be changing his mind too, because he starts reaching towards the hat, and then you see his hand switch directions and it goes to the branch.
What's interesting is that he actually is beating Dovchenko pretty hard here. Like when you think of the Pat Roach in Raiders, there's one big display of whippings, where he's just like, and there's just like blood and red everywhere, and like it looks like he broke Pat Roach's nose, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like the tide has turned, and Pat Roach just doesn't really care at all. He's kind of titillated by the sight of his own blood.
Yeah, this is the fun he was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering that Indy's had an entire lifetime with his bullwhip, or at least since he got out of the back of a train, I would think that he would be well versed in how to fight with a bullwhip, and rather than reaching for what looks like a really dry piece of squawwood, I would think that he would like grab the whip that is at his side and throw it around his ankle, throw it around Dovchenko's ankles, and knock him off of his feet. But I guess that doesn't come up in the heat of the moment.
That's an incredible point. Why isn't he?
Well, that's an incredible point. Why isn't he? Yeah, that could have been an entirely thing. Yeah.
He's so worried about his hat, which isn't even a weapon.
Yeah.
Which doesn't do anything.
No, he's not Odd Job. Come on,
a whip on his hip.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
He
could. That would have been cool around his feet.
Yeah. And you pull him down, and then then we wouldn't have a minute 88. It would be minute 87.
That's right.
That's true. It's true.
I got a lot to think about now.
Yeah.
This movie's a multifaceted gem. No matter how you look at it, it's something new.
Well, speaking of a multifaceted gem.
Oh.
Yes, the machine is lighting up.
Hooray.
Coming on over the wire. It's hot.
Ooh.
This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Let me see. It's coming in. It's still coming in. All right, here it is.
Beep stopped. I mean,
yeah.
Message would be complete by now, but.
Calling all Scrum Chums. She's asking the listeners' crusade. How would you update the Scrap Chap for Indy IV?
Oh, like who's going to be the big Pat Roach
Who's going to be the
bruiser.
big Pat Roach? You know, yeah. What's he going to look like?
I'm calling Buzz Aldrin before anybody else does.
Oh my god, that'd be incredible. Just fighting on the platform.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
that's a video to remember, and
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. Are we going to have one that's going to be skinnier?
Ooh.
That's
We're
weird.
going to have
I mean,
one that, is going to be a bigger.
they might do something like that. They might be like, hey, we're we've had a lot of big, huge indie fighting a big, huge guy. Let's do something a little different.
Well, does it take place in the 70s? If it is, maybe it's one of those like long-haired, lanky 70s types of bruisers.
Yeah. It's some
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got, the type they have like an Audi belly button.
And they
And
won't
then
let
they got
you
like
forget
a vest with no shirt. Yeah. Like a headband.
Right.
Like a
Nick-
really
Knick-knack from Man with the Golden Gun. I'm just picturing Hervé Villechard. CGI.
Sure.
Hervé
There you go.
Villechard, getting him by the
Yeah.
knee. And
We have the technology. Let's do it. Well, does anybody have anything else for 87 before we thank Jim for being here? Or do you just want to thank Jim for being here?
Yeah, well, thank them.
All right, Jim, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
thanks for having me. It's always a thrill to be on the show, and I listen to you guys just about every chance that I get, but I usually do you in spurts, so I'll listen to like 10 minutes at a time.
Okay, cool.
No,
Whatever
like
works.
An entire spring.
Yeah, I
All
do.
in one sitting.
Yeah. So that was the spring of 2021.
Yeah.
Wow. And I am looking forward to listening to you guys next, as we're recording this in 2022. You'll be on my show for a week.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
we'll be,
What is that show? Name it.
It's going to be the Silverado Minute, where we go over the 1985 Western classic that Lawrence Kasdan, familiar to indie fans, directed, wrote, and produced. So lots of actions, lots of Kevins, lots of Kevin Kline, Kevin Costner's in it, John Cleese, and it's you guys get 5 episodes of that show. It's a big Movies by Minute production. We've got 26 Movies by Minutes group. So it's kind of a Whitman sampler of Movies by Minutes hosts, all taking a different take on a Western. And I know I've been waiting to hear Pete's view of this. I hasn't watched it yet, but hopefully someday soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll have something to talk about when he has his minutes.
I haven't seen it since it was out, but I remember it being awesome, so I'm excited to revisit.
Yes, I think you've got some key John Cleese moments, so that'll be neat.
I was just gonna say we've got like John Cleese is in that movie, and Jim Broadbent is in this movie, Crystal Skull, which is a nice Time Bandits crossover.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow. Well,
That's how my brain works.
Looking forward to that. Begins February 28th, 2022, on most of your favorite podcast catchers.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Everybody listen to that when it comes out. Thank you for listening to this, which just came out. And thank you for coming back next week. Jim's going to come back next week because he loves it and because we haven't yet found out what his least favorite Indiana Jones movie is.
Ooh.
We got to ask him that.
Yeah.
So kind of that's what we call a cliffhanger, a tease. So please come back next week for minute 88 of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull right here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Tommy, let me hear you surrender.
Oh, God. I'm done. Please. Just leave me alone. I'm done.